Good afternoon, my YouTube viewers. Crystal here. Basically, what I wanted to do today is I wanted to give you a code review of the code for Analytic Vihadia's Black Friday sale. Basically, I entered this competition, but I'm new and I don't really know very much what I'm doing. So I had to look at other people's code. So I did actually find some code on the Kaggle website, and the website is shown here. So you know where I got this code, if just for your general information. But basically, I used the code from this Kaggle website and the code that I used for the Amy's House Price competition to compile a program to submit to Analytics Vihidia, because what people generally do is they will generally write the code and submit it in an article or submit it on a YouTube video or submit it on Kaggle, but they won't complete it. And because it's not complete, you can't really use it. But what I did was I was able to figure out what he had done and complete the code and add my own little bits and pieces. But just so I'm not accused of plagiarizing this person, you can find his work on this Kaggle website at the arrow. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to import all our files, which I've imported. The second thing you want to do is you want to import your training data set, which I have imported and loaded. You want to check the information on the data set, training data set, and you can see that in front of you. And you want to describe the training data set, and that gives you all of the vital statistics of this data set. You want to look at the shape of the data set, which you can see in front of you, and then we're going to do the same thing with the test data set. So we load our test data set. The test data set is the same as the training data set, except that it doesn't have the final column in it, which is count, I believe. The next thing you want to do is you want to check the info of the data set, so you've got that information in front of you. And then you want to describe the data set, and that gives you a description of count, mean, standard deviation, minimum, 25%, 50%, 75%, and max. Then what we want to do is we just want to describe the purchase column of the data set, so you can see all that information in front of you. And I wanted to make a plot of the purchase column so you can see the purchasing history. And then we did a heat map of this data set, so you can see where they fit, where this heat, what the heat looks like, where the variables fit in this data set. And then we did some more graphs that you can look at the graphs and compare them. We did another seaborne chart, and you can look at that seaborne chart, have a look at that. The next thing we did was we established the value G, so you can see G, and then we plotted another graph. We've established the value G again, and we plotted some even more graphs that you can look at that will tell you about people's spending habits. And the next thing we did was we did the violin chart. That's what they call this. They call this a violin chart. And you can look at that and see marital status is blue, 0, so I guess that means single, and 1 is orange, so I guess that means married. So you can look at that. Then we plotted some more graphs. So if you like to look at graphs, plotted some more graphs in Seaborn, so you can see that. The next thing I did was I combined the training file and the test file, and I dropped the purchase column off the training file, so both of the files would be the same. And then this code here, what this code does is this code checks to see if there are any null characters within the two data sets. And then as you can see, it's come up and it's told you that yes, there are null characters within the two data sets. And then so we did a DF, and we also we did a DF combine information, so you can see the information on the combined data set. So now we've got some codes where we replace the missing values with the mean, so you can see how that was done. And then when we finished replacing the values with the mean and the none, then we're going to look at the information of the combined data set again, and you can see that all of the figures are the same right here, and the non-null characters. And then what we did is we dropped in this DF combined, we dropped the user ID and the product ID, and you've got some more information about it. So now you can see the user combined file or the DF combined file. So that's just the two files, put together. So the next thing we do is we strip out the funny characters from the age, and we strip out the funny characters from the state and the current city, and then you can see DF combined again, and you'll see that the funny characters have been stripped out. And then finally, after we've done all that, what we do is we check to see if there are any is null characters, and you can see that there's not any is null characters on any of the columns since we've done all of that work. So you can see DF combine info again, and you can see that there's no more is null characters. Now we do just a code to get dummies from DF combine, and we go back and look at DF combine again to see how it's changed. And then we define result. We define the variable result, which is combine dummies.values. And then I just wanted to look at result to see what was in the result array. And then what we do is we define the Y variable, which is DF train purchase values. And the next thing we want to do is we want to create matrices for sklearn. So, and then these values here are to create the matrix for sklearn. And then the next thing we do is we perform the test train split, where we're going to split the training test set into two. And then when we split the training test set into two, we're going to train on 80% of the test set and test on 20%. And that's the DF train file that they're training and testing on. So I wanted to see what was in Xtrain, so you can see that. I wanted to see what was in Xtest, so you can see that. I wanted to see what was in YTrain, so you can see that. I wanted to see what was in YTest, so you can see that. And then what we do is we have some formulas for the label encoder, and that is to further process the data. So we label encode Xtrain. We label, and then we label encode Xtrain some more label encoding, just some standard formulas used to encode the data. Then we label encode Xtest. We do another formula to do that, another formula to do that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, in sklearn, we're going to do the standard scaler, and the standard scaler is going to set the file up for processing. And then we define a module and call it get MAE, and that's some more work that it's going to do. And when you define this module, you're going to be using the random forest regressor. And it gives you the information what to do, and it also predicts, it also makes the predictions. And then this is where all the work is done for the MaxLeaf nodes, and it's going to perform 850 passes, and it's going to take a while to do it. It's not a quick process, but it'll perform 850 passes to try to get your mean absolute error down. And then, so I wanted to see what was in Y-test, so you can see Y-test. And then we established the variable regressor and YPRED. So regressor equals random forest regressor. And again, that's going to be help you to set up your predictions. So YTrain pred equals regressor predict xtrain. Final labels equals regressor dot predict test values. And then you've got your final labels. I wanted to see what was in the final labels. And the final result goes into a data frame that you create, and the data frame has the 3 columns of purchase, user ID, and product ID. And then the final result is going to go into a file called submission.bfscsv. Index equals false. You have to use index equals false because if you don't, then the index file will show up and Analytics Vahida won't accept it. And then I just wanted to give it a little message saying your submission was successfully saved, just to let you know that it worked. And then you're going to upload your submission. So the name of the file is submission BFS. And basically, I actually performed this program in Google Colab, and it actually made the file submission BFX. And then if you clicked onto the left-hand side, you could see where it had made the submission. And then so you could actually download the file, which is what I did. I downloaded it. And you also go to the Analytics Vahida site and Vahidia site, and basically I uploaded that file into their submissions page, and it worked because all I wanted to do was get on the leaderboard, because I know that I don't know enough to fine-tune the formulas and everything to get it at 100% accuracy. So for me, just writing the program and getting on the leaderboard was enough. I'm happy just to be on the leaderboard. And so this program that I've written with the help of that person who posted some of the code on Kaggle helped me to get on the leaderboard. So that's it. That is it for this code review for the Black Friday sales. If you like my video, please like, subscribe, and share. If you want to support the work I'm doing, I have my email address to my PayPal account down below, and any donations will be very gratefully received. That will help me defray many of my expenses. And let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this video and this code review. So I think that completes my presentation. Thank you very much for watching my video to the end, and I will see you at the next code review.